Hi, it's Nancy. I wanted to show you a little bit more about what's going on in the garden. I'm actually getting a few things done. There's so much to do, it doesn't feel like you're doing all that much, and you look and you kind of think, what did I do? But anyway, I'm going to point out a little bit more of it to you here in a minute on this video clip. Okay, these are my hosta pots, especially the ones here in the back. This one I planted an astilbe in with a hosta that was in it, and I planted some, let's see, I think that one with the little blue angel there, I haven't put anything in it yet. This one right beside it, I've put some astilbe, and it has well, I think I'm going to end up putting a hosta there in front of this one. This one, they all have hostas in these, and I planted a few astilbes or astilbes, however that's pronounced. I've never really had any luck with them, but I want to keep trying, because sometimes that's all it takes, is just to keep trying. So like I said, sometimes you just have to try and try again, but then other times you finally realize, you know, this Oklahoma weather is just too hot for this particular plant I'm trying to do. But it's best if you give them several tries, because I know I tried just a purple plum salvia one time and I almost gave up on it. I finally decided to try one more time, and it's just been gorgeous ever since. You can see this tiny little sedum coming up. Looks like tiny little rosettes when they first begin to show up. This one is a pretty Angelonia sedum. In the fall it actually turns a beautiful orange color. So all down this little strip right here, and we've actually been out here 4 times to work. 2, my husband was with me, but the other 2 times I did by myself, because basically you just have to crawl in amongst all those pots where the little foothold, where you can get a little foothold. And I emptied some of the potting soil out and put new soil in the top part of it, gave them some plant food, and I'm hoping that not only my hostas will begin to look great, but also that my astilbes will bloom there with them, and we'll have some pretty color along with the green of the pretty hostas. I kind of felt like that little hippo on Fantasia. When I first saw that, I realized she and I had a lot in common, because she just she doesn't even realize when, you know, her little skirt rolls up over her fat, but she's just listening to the music in her head, and she's just happy as a little lark or a little hippo. So that's kind of the way gardening. It's hard and stressful to me, because I do have arthritis, and it does get to be just about more than I can do sometimes, but I just keep going as much as I can, the rest when I have to, and usually it just is so well worth it. I was going to try to show you some of the little hostas poking up, but I'm not seeing them right at the moment. You can see this sedum right down here in this little basket is poking its little rosette heads up. I think there might be, no, I'm not seeing it. I was pretty sure I had some of the hostas already poking up, but maybe when I put the soil on them I might have covered up the little heads, but they'll be coming up before too long. We were out here yesterday, and my husband had seen them first, but there was a little pair of bluebirds, so pretty. I only got to see one of them, and as soon as I went to get the camera, he flew away. But I did notice they were looking approvingly at this little house right here. They actually went inside, so I'm hoping that she will say, that she'll say, "Dear, let's go back. I just can't get this one little house out of my head, and I hope they come and live here and raise their young here, and that we have bluebirds in the garden." So this is how it looked before I before I cleaned everything out. And this is another job that I'll need to be doing in the near future, maybe some of it even today. But all this old dead stuff from last season will have to go. I took all the plastic off my little garden art and refixed a bunch of stuff with Gorilla Glue that didn't quite make it through the winter nicely, and put up some of the angels that were falling over. So we're getting geared up, and one day soon it's going to be just gorgeous. Every little step of it is wonderful to me. It's just such a wonder to come out into the garden. This little angel here had fallen over, and I set her back up. This little cross was kind of not all the way over, but not upright either. But now he's back upright again, and we're just getting things ready. So I just had to go back and show you what this little area I've been showing you that we just cleaned out looked like last year. So these are some of the plants that we had in there, and I forgot that we had a couple of hails in the early spring that got my hostas, and they were all slightly scarred. You can see the scars on them. So I hope we don't get that this year and the hostas get to be really pretty. They were still pretty, but much prettier without the scars. This is a larkspur there in front. There's more of the hostas and this pink Terenia and impatiens. There's more of the hostas and more of the Terenias. I love the Terenias, but they do seem to fade away when it gets hot. Here's some caladiums, and on this little trellis I had a beautiful pale pink mandevilla with a yellow throat. I love the coleus. If you think you've got a spot that's not very bright and you wish it were brighter, just plant a coleus there, or 2 or 3. And these are impatiens. They work so perfectly with coleus in the shade. Those are probably my favorite annuals for shade. And then, of course, the perennials would be the hostas, and that's all I'm thinking of right now. We'll see how the astilbes do. This is a little angel that I just really liked last year. She just topped it off so perfectly for me. Some more of the bright impatiens. More coleus. And this white is just the little white tufts are from a chocolate plant. And look at this red coleus. How could I leave red out of the garden when I could see that? And this is a copper plant. It adds a lot of pretty color to my shade garden too, and it does get a little sun, filtered sun. It's one of the big Kong coleus, which are outstanding in the garden too. And this is a crocosmia there in front of that gazing ball. More of the impatiens and coleus together. And we're back to the little house that I hope to have some bluebirds in this year.